It's your boy ConserViz34, and today I'm going to give my review of the Mansfield Dave Matthews Band show. On May 25th, 2012, I went to my first Dave Matthews Band show. Had been a fan since around 2005, but one of my good college friends talked me into going to the show. I loved the band's music, and I thought, oh, it'll be a cool thing to see live. But the first thing I remember is the sun was just about to set, the band took the stage, and the opening 30 seconds of The Stone would forever get me hooked on going to Dave Matthews Band shows. This past Friday, August 20th, I went to my 24th related Dave Matthews event. I've been to 2 Dave and Tim shows and 22 full band shows. In any show that opens with The Stone, like the Mansfield show this past Friday, you just know, no matter what is played after it, it's going to be a heck of a night. And this show was no different. I loved the opener, and it just set the tone for the entire night. The other thing that I did notice about this show is you could hear a balance in the band. One of the biggest things that I don't like about the post Leroy Moore era of the band is many times Tim can be too loud in the mix. Rashawn's horn is too loud in the mix. I want to hear that guy who started the band, Mr. Dave Matthews, and his guitar as the chief instrument in the mix. And when I went to the show Friday, that's exactly what we got. Tim was perfectly at his right tone and at his right volume level. Rashawn was not overpowering Dave, and it was a nice balance. Here's an example, the beginning of Warehouse. Let's take a look at this to see how balanced it is as Dave brings back an old school stop time intro. This is a perfect example of hearing Dave's guitar again. That should be the motto for the band. Hear Dave's guitar again, 2021. Previous years, you would have Tim mimicking or mirroring the same exact notes Dave was playing, overpowering Dave's crucial part. And then the horns, as they came in, you guys heard that, right? The horns used to be a little bit louder over Dave. And it didn't feel like the Dave Matthews band. It felt like Tim CDC featuring the horns playing over Dave. I love how when I was at this show, we were able to experience Dave's guitar being the primary instrument over everything. That's what I want from this band. That's what I love about this Mansfield show. Next, I want to talk about the catalog selections for this band's Mansfield show. This is not necessarily where these songs were placed, but what albums they pulled from. So we had 4 songs from Crash, 3 from Under the Table and Dreaming, 3 unreleased songs, 3 from Big Whiskey, 2 from Before These Crowded Streets, 2 from Everyday, 2 Busted Stuff, 1 Segway, and 1 Away from the World. There was also a stand-up interpolation from stand-up. American Baby intro was pulled into Lying in the Hands of God, which has been a common theme for that song since Buddy Strong joined the band in 2018. I like what they decided to play, and I also like what they didn't decide to play. There were no covers. Now, DMB does a good job of covering certain songs, but when I go to a Dave show, I don't want to hear covers, no offense. To me, there are certain artists that do really good covers. Tedeschi Trucks Band and Government Mule, for example. I love Susan Tedeschi and Warren Haynes, respectively, in those bands. But for DMB, they have such a great mainstream catalog. They have such a great deep cut catalog. They don't need to do covers. That's not their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is playing their own songs, playing them so many times, and people still enjoying them on the 20th or 30th play. And that's exactly what they did. They also did not play a full stand-up song. While there are highlights from that album, it's an album that doesn't translate live to me that well outside American Baby Intro and Stolen Away, right? And they also didn't play any Come Tomorrow songs. I have had the experience of Come Tomorrow between 2015 and present, right? We got a lot of the stuff. There's some stuff I like, there's some stuff I don't like. I'd rather have the album go missing in the witness protection program for this tour, and especially for this night, it was 100% missing, so we can get more of the deeper cuts. We get a Stone, we get a Sweet Up and Down, we get a two-step tour debut. If we had a bunch of Louisiana Bayous or Sledgehammer covers or Watchtower covers, you don't get all of those things. In all, with there were no covers, no Come Tomorrow, and also no stand-up, you still get a set where everyone can be pleased. If you like You and Me, You Are Married to You and Me, you got that. If you like Don't Drink the Water, all the energy of that song, you got that. If you like Sister because you have a sister or you've lost a sister, you got that. If you're like me, you like the Stone opener, you like the Sweet Up and Down, even the 41 Gray Street back-to-back, Gray Street with the third verse, the diehard fan was fed. One thing that, I was a little bit surprised is they did not do any Dave solo material from his Some Devil solo album. They did. I thought they would bust out one or two here or there, and in many cases, like they played "Lying in the Hands of God," when they with the raised B tuning guitar instead of a Stay or Leave. So just very interesting thing I noticed. But I love Dave's solo album. I would have loved to hear some stuff from that, but nonetheless, this was a great show. Overall, the theme for me this year is it's not what they play, it's how they play. I've been very critical of this band's set list selection and show flow, but a lot of that's been due to how they played the stuff, right? The songs I like Warehouse, Tim played over Dave, and I called it the Tim CDC experience, right? That didn't happen. So that stuff was eliminated. And even the songs that I'm not too diehard about, like You and Me, or sorry, You and Me, not Me. my voice, I messed up. It still was played very well. The Rooftop from Away from the World played very well. They played Sweet. They didn't play it tonight, but I heard it on Sirius XM radio, and it sounded so much more revamped. They sounded like the Dave Matthews Band, not like Tim CDC or a rock band. And that's what I like about 2021. I will always have hopes for what they will play as I continue going to shows this year. I want to see some rare stuff. I want to see some deep tracks. But you know what? When I go to the shows this summer, when I go to Guilford, and when I go to the Gorge, and when I go to Mohegan, I know that I'm going to enjoy these shows, even if they play songs I don't like so much, because the band is on top of its game. They're including Buddy Strong more into him having more parts with the piano, with the keys, and with the organ, although I prefer no organ. I like him on the keys more, right? But at the end of the day, Buddy is doing his darn thing. I've been a Buddy fan supporter since day one, and every day is the highlight of what he did right before Two Step. He has taken over that song, and he is moving the crowd and rocking the crowd. And people always like to give him a lot of, crap because Boyd left and he came in, but without Buddy Strong we don't have a Dave Matthews Band. He's brought energy to the band, he's brought energy to the crowd, and we saw that for Mansfield. And this was a special show. This was a show that to me was one of the best Mansfield shows since about 2013, going to this venue since 2013. To me, this was a special show just because of how they sounded, the way that they threw in a two-step set closer and a Stone opener, having that sandwich, those were so key to what makes a great balanced Dave Matthews Band show. If you're new to my channel, follow me on Twitter as well, because on Twitter I will let you guys know when I go live after most Dave Matthews Band shows to give a reaction and also call people who have been to that show. So follow me on Twitter. I always post a link when I go live so you can watch the live stream, chat, and even give your opinions. And when I go live, there's usually a 30-second or minute countdown. I'll start off by playing a song from a previous show. So you get a little bit of entertainment. You can listen to something that's been posted by me or some other YouTuber who puts DMB stuff up. We'll go over the set list. We'll talk about what we liked, what we didn't like. And then after that, I do try to call somebody who's been at the show. I have some wonderful friends that are across the country, and if they're at a show, we'll call them. We'll see their reaction because we want to get reaction from someone who's actually at the show. And also, I'll give my 2 cents as well. I can't help but do it, especially on the Fridays where we get Sirius XM recordings of these shows streamed to us, and I'm going to let you know what I hear from there. But the main thing about these streams after shows is what I hear, but also what other people are hearing at the show. So we do always want to listen to them as far as what they're telling us about that current show. That's all I got for today. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Join me after the concerts on YouTube when I live stream and we talk to people at the shows. We talk to people going to future shows. It's your boy ConcertViz34. I hope everyone got out of the Xfinity Center safely, man. That parking lot is a disaster. Buy premium parking. I will go in this way, but the problem is there's only one way out. I won't tell you where to park, 'cause I want a head start to leave. I can't believe they would only make one exit. That's a disaster. So I'm waiting in line and honking my horn. It used to be where we could have 4 or 5 exits out of venues that made it easier. But not in Mansfield, Mass, 'cause I'm still waiting 8 hours later. Yeah. This is really a disaster. You gotta pay for the VIP or white lot or premiere, so you get out of here before the sun rises. I can't believe this is a disaster of master proportion. Please, I've gotten out of football games quicker than this 18,000 seat venue. I'm talking about 65,000 at Gillette Stadium. But they actually have a plan. Why don't you learn to make exits or make the venue in a bigger town? That would turn things around. I can't believe they really would do this only in Massachusetts, where they don't even use their blinker. They never use their blinker. And there's too many rotaries. For the love of God, how many rotaries can you put in a state